I've had the C5 Corvette for a long time now, and every once in a while I just need a change. Sometimes it's something major, and sometimes it's something much more subtle, like the contents of this box.
Toys for life.
In today's video, I'm going to remove my custom shortened stock C5 shifter and replace it with this C6 shifter from a 2013 Corvette. I'm going with the C6 shifter at this time versus an MGW or other aftermarket offering because most people who have tried this in the C5 agree that it's a decent modification. Clearly it's got a shorter overall length, the shift lever itself is tilted backwards, and the shift knob is subjectively a more modern design. And I'm confident the GM engineers wouldn't have made all of these changes if this didn't improve the shifting experience in the C6 Corvette. And that's something you can't get in a C8 Corvette, by the way. Also, the cherry on the top that sealed the deal is that I bought this assembly from a Corvette wrecking yard, and this came out of a 2013 C6 Corvette. So in my view, I can pretty much try this for several months for free because as a used part, its value won't drop right after I buy it like an aftermarket shifter would. And that means I can try it for about 3 months, and if I don't like it, I can always resell it and probably get just about what I paid for it. One other thing that appealed to me is that there are some rubber components within this shifter assembly, as well as some parts that can wear a little bit. And since this is out of a 2013 Corvette, and mine's a 2003, this should be a lot tighter and last quite a bit longer than my existing shifter. Installing this should be a pretty easy job, plus it's an opportunity to adjust the linkage to make sure it's right. The only thing I'm worried about, believe it or not, is making the shift boot work from the C6 in the C5. It may require a little bit of tweaking, so let's get started so I can get this installed and give it an honest try before winter sets in. Step 1 is to remove the little vent by the ignition switch by simply popping it off with a screwdriver and then proceeding to remove the torque screw underneath it. Then go ahead and remove the 2 torque screws that are in the same general area as the lighter socket under the heating and air conditioning controls. Next, lift the center console lid and remove the 2 caps that are located near the rear, where you will find 2 hidden 10mm nuts. Go ahead and remove them both. Then remove the panel that is just behind the shifter by carefully lifting it off as it just clips into place, and then carefully remove the wiring plugs and set the panel aside. Now go ahead and remove the power plug from the power port that supplies power to the inside of the console, and then remove the 2 10mm nuts that are located in that same area, and then just slide the center console back a little bit so it's out of your way. Now go ahead and manipulate the shifter boot ring inward towards the shifter and work your way around the perimeter while gently lifting up until the entire boot is free from the center console. Here's a close-up of what the plastic ring looks like that you are disengaging from the center console. Now you can pull the main front part of the console carefully back and up a little bit, then reach around behind it and you'll remove the plug from the main cigarette lighter and then set the whole panel out of the way. Moving on to the shifter, carefully remove the shift indicator cap by gently prying it up with a small screwdriver, and then with 2 larger screwdrivers on each side, pry up on the wedge that is located in the center of the shifter, and when it's removed, you can proceed to unscrew the knob. Now remove the 4 10mm nuts that hold down the thick rubber seal. It is sturdy, but be careful with it because it does a fantastic job of stopping vibration, noise, and heat from entering the passenger compartment. Now we will remove the 3 T40 Torx bolts. 2 mount the shifter to the torque tube body, and 1 attaches the shifter output rod to the transmission shift rod. Before removing the bolts, be sure to leave the transmission in neutral. This will be important when reinstalling the new shifter. Now you can gently slide the shifter assembly forward and remove it from the car. With the shifter assembly gently mounted to a vise, I have removed the 4 screws holding the shifter to the box, and inside I've already cleaned the shaft and relubricated it with silicone brake grease. I've cleaned the surfaces between the shifter and the box and applied a very thin coat of RTV. Now I will reattach the shifter. One thing I learned while making this video is that all regular C5 Corvette shifter bushings were made out of rubber like mine right here. But the C5 Z06 shifter boxes, the box itself was constructed a little bit differently. And as you can see right here, the box on the right is the Z06 box, and its shifter box is mounted solidly to the transmission torque tube. Now, it's not a major difference, but for GM to have a different shifter box engineered and manufactured, that did cost a little bit of money. So you know that the engineers must have felt that the C5 Z06 is intended for people that wanted to race their Corvette. Made enough of a difference to warrant the extra cost. Now, fortunately for me, my shifter bushings are in decent shape, but it's not uncommon for them to break down and wear out. And when that happens, it causes excessive movement between the shifter box and the transmission torque tube when you're trying to shift your car. And that's not a good thing. So if yours are shot, I'll leave a link in the description. You can get new rubber shifter bushings from Amazon, and I think the rubber ones are probably best for most people. Oh, and for those of you who just found out the C5 Z06 box is mounted solidly to the torque tube, T-Mod Customs offers 3 different stiffnesses of shifter bushings. You can go with their polyurethane, their Durlin, or solid aluminum, and those are all great options. But for me, if mine were shot, I think the best trade-off between performance and harshness and vibration would be the polyurethane shifter bushings. Back inside the car, align the shifter output shaft into the transmission linkage and then install all 3 of the T40 Torx bolts, but leave them loose enough so that the shifter box can still slide forwards and backwards. Now with the shifter handle moved forward, press down on the alignment pin until it fully bottoms out. This is what locks the shifter into the correct position, and when installed with the transmission in neutral, this is key to making sure your shifter is installed correctly. Now go ahead and torque all 3 bolts down to 22 pound-feet. And when that is done, you can slide the alignment pin back up where it is stored until you need to use it the next time. Pretty slick, I'd say. Now, before you go any further, take a moment to run the shifter through all of the gears so that you're 100% sure that you did it correctly and it shifts as it should. If you're satisfied with how it shifts, you can go ahead and reinstall this thick rubber gasket, which again does a great job of sealing out heat, noise, vibration, and fumes from getting into the interior of the car. The rubber gasket is pretty durable, but be sure to go easy on it because they're not cheap. Then go ahead and reinstall the front and rear center console sections by simply reversing the order in which they were removed. When you're tightening the screws, be sure to be careful because everything is made out of 20-year-old plastic and they crack very easily. Now we're at the interesting part. What do we do about the shifter boot? You can't simply reinstall the shifter boot that came with the C6 because the base, which goes into the center console on the C6, is quite a bit bigger than the one on the C5. There is a company on Amazon that offers a custom shifter boot for about $45. The base of the shifter boot fits the hole in the C5 console, whereas the upper part of the boot does fit nicely around the C6's shifter knob. But for me, I just use the stock C5 shifter boot. Obviously, it fits the hole in the C5 console perfectly, and if you pull it up right, it does fit the knob good enough where only the most picky person would realize it's not 100% perfect. Now, if the aesthetics really bugged me, here's what I would do. You can remove this shiny silver ring that engages to the bottom of the C6 shifter. It simply uses a rubber O-ring that kind of clamps the boot to that chrome ring. And although this is the C6 boot, imagine for a moment, if you will, if this was the C5 boot, I'm pretty sure you could cut off the top inch or so where it's smaller to neck down to the shifter. And then I think you could go ahead and install this chrome ring with that O-ring to your C5 shifter boot, and it should engage to the bottom of the shift knob. As far as mine goes, I don't think I'll ever notice it, but if I do, I can always make the change. Now let's take the C5 for a test drive and see how it feels, and more importantly, how it shifts. I'm going to shut my yapper so we can listen to the sounds of the supercharged C5. So after going for about a 1/2 hour spirited street drive, here are my observations. Number one, about every 2 to 3 years, I do go through the shifter adjustment process that I outlined in the video. And every time I do, when I get back into the car, it does seem to shift like butter. Now, it's probably just the placebo effect, but whether it's real or not, my arm is telling my brain that it is. Number two, a few years back, I already modified my stock C5 shifter, and this is the modified unit. I shortened it by about 1.5 inches or so. There's a link to that video right up here. And in my humble opinion, that is the best bang for the buck modification you can do to a manual transmission C5 Corvette, because the stock shifter is way too old school and way too long. And so if you're going from a stock longer C5 shifter to the C6 shifter, then it will be, and it is, a major upgrade. Number three, going from the stock C5 shifter knob to the C6 shifter knob. The knob feels more natural and comfortable in my hand, and the way my arm rests on the console is about 1.5 inches back further. Number four, it's silly, but it is absolutely true. Since I've owned the C5 for over 10 years, it is very refreshing to see something new in the interior of the car. And although it is a very subtle change, it is definitely very noticeable. And in my mind, that's pretty cool. Now, since you made it to the end of the video, tap that thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And most of all, guys, thanks for watching.